AngularJS directive basics. This is my favorite part about Angular. And this is why. I'm going to start with a quote from Martin Fowler. How many people know who Martin Fowler is? I mean, the guy is prolific. I mean, I think we can agree. Like, this guy knows some things about programming. He's been in the trenches. And I'm not going to read the entire quote, but in particular, it may also improve communication with domain experts. So talking about a DSL, which is an important tool for tackling one of the hardest problems in software development. So I think it's interesting that he's talking about DSL, and he goes and he says communicating with the domain experts is like one of the hardest problems in software development. That it's really not syntax, it's not what stack you're on, is that we all have bosses, we all have stakeholders, and trying to communicate what you're trying to do and have them communicate with what they want that's a really tricky problem. And that's where I believe DSLs, domain-specific languages, really comes into play, is it allows you to create a set of semantics that describes the problem area that you're in, the domain that you're in. And so this is why directives, I believe, is so powerful, is because it allows you to extend HTML into a DSL. Another quote, it's no secret at all that I'm a fan of kind of the closure camp. I think there's a lot of really incredible people. And I was reading, I believe it was The Joy of ClojureScript, or the book that Stuart Holloway wrote. And I was in the first chapter, and basically my worldview around JavaScript is just crystallizing. I was just like, yes, this is how JavaScript should be written. And this is what he was talking about. He was saying that fixed languages are inherently broken. And so, coming from a Java background, I mean, how many times have you been like, I really wish this language, I really wish I could do this, but Java doesn't really do that. So then you have to kind of jump through some hoops. And I mean, anybody who's come from like .NET or whatever, we've been there. Is that literally millions of lines of code have been written to work around missing features in programming languages. So we're really kind of zooming up to this huge high level of software from kind of this 10,000 foot viewpoint. And we're realizing communicating with your domain experts is a really hard problem for software developers. Not only that, is trying to work around a fixed language it's just a mess. Like, we've been there. We've tried to do that. Java, .NET, these fixed languages. Trying to get a language to do something that's not meant to do is really hard and time consuming. And it's brittle and oftentimes hard to test. And you go down this rabbit trail and it's really hard to get back out. And so directives and the ability to create custom tags and attributes to extend HTML is, I believe, the most powerful feature for me personally, and my favorite feature in Angular. Because at a high level, one, you're allowed to bend your programming environment and what you're writing to do whatever you want. I need a tag that does this. You're not having to work around. It's just like, I'm going to create this tag and it's going to do it. And not only that, is you can start to show what you're doing and convey it in a way that makes sense for domain experts.